Yeah. You're all dressed up,
There
Wayne.
we go. I'm gonna call this meeting to, order at 7 o'clock. Roll call, myself, Tom, Barney, Meg, Barb, Ricky, and Jim are all present. Ms. Blake?
Okay, that's me. I noticed that tonight you're going to have an addendum to the Saranac Central School bus driver contract. And, I have a question about that particular addendum. A couple of weeks ago, you passed unanimously a resolution stating that you were all in accord with the contract. You and I had an email about that.
Yep.
And the week prior to that, there was a question regarding whether or not the cost of the bus driver was included, and I think there was some misunderstanding, some misinformation given out, and in fact, it was not included. So that's going to the addendum, that's why there's going to be an addendum tonight. So I'm looking over the addendum, and the cost of the school bus driver is $77.72 per trip. Does anybody know what a trip is?
Mel is being authorized to contact the Saranac School District and have that conversation. If it doesn't fall in that category, she is not to do the trip.
What category?
Of how much the trip would cost for the $72.72.
I don't understand.
There's a short trip and a long trip.
Okay.
So we are working out some of the finer details so as to not have to deal with some of these situations in the future. But to expedite this right now, this is the approach that we're taking.
Is this a round trip or a one-way trip, or do we know?
It's for the trip. What we were told is for the trip.
But we don't know what a trip is. I mean, the resolution that you passed says this is to transport children to and from recreational functions. It talks about the youth program, and yet the contract talks about senior citizens. Did you know that?
As we had communicated in the email, I am trying to clean up some of the previous stuff.
Okay.
So we're taking the approach. I mean,
Okay.
that's what I can offer you right now.
Okay, so the answer, I guess, is no. We don't know what a trip is, and this isn't only for youth.
There's two different types of trips that Saranac classifies in their individual bus contract, which is a short trip and a long trip. Okay, the long trip is approximately $100. We're authorizing through this resolution that if Mel wants to do a trip, that she can do so as long as it falls under the classification of the $77.72.
Does that include senior citizen trips?
It includes all trips that Saranac does with that in this service.
Okay, so this isn't just youth programs then,
If-
as it's stated in the resolution?
If she were to use that service, it would fall under that if she needed to do so.
Okay,
Now, she usually uses charter buses for
Yeah.
senior trips. I believe.
that's what I thought, if
Right.
she usually uses that.
But I'm saying though, it would give the flexibility. What we're addressing is the rate of the trip right now. That's what this resolution is addressing.
Okay. So it's not, you're not gonna do trips over $77.72?
No, that's, the plan is to not go
Okay.
over the 70.
It's not really specific here, as probably council could tell you. And that's why I'm here, because it wasn't specific in the other resolution, and it wasn't specific at all in the contract. Contract just said, plus the cost of a driver. So,
Yep, and in all honesty, to get some of the information from the Saranac School District, it took some pulling just to get some of that information. That's why I'm saying I'm trying to clean up some of it, so we're gonna move forward with what we can. This will, as you'll notice, the supervisor and the recreation department is
Yes.
hereby authorized, so that we can make sure that it's for $77.72 for the trip.
okay, thank you.
Going into supervisor's report, a couple of quick updates. We did have an informational session here at Town Hall. We continue to receive interest from folks that are looking to apply for the microenterprise grant, working, with the Small Business Development Center. They are going through their, I don't know, every 3 or 4 years, they go through an accreditation. So until they get through that, they will not be offering the training. As soon as they get through their accreditation, we'll go into the training, they'll start offering that training process. So it could possibly be in August, but more likely in September, so just a heads up there. I received a number of phone calls, emails, and individuals that popped in the office inquiring about, could the Morrisonville Bridge be dedicated after Gordy Little, since his passing. Did a little research. Obviously, as a state bridge, there's a number of things that would need to occur, but reached out to my counterpart over in Schuyler Falls, and we had a good conversation. We both agreed that it was worth at least pursuing to get some information. To date, the bridge has not formally, through the state, been dedicated to anybody. There was some conversations about whether or not it was dedicated after the Luff Brothers. They, in turn, in doing their construction, dedicated it to a family member of the state of New York, did not dedicate it to anybody. I've had some conversations with the Assemblywoman about the process, and also put some questions out to the Department of Transportation and also the Senator, so more to come as time develops. Last week, I had an opportunity to participate in the governor's announcement for the downtown revitalization. The city will be receiving $10 million to work on a number of things, and more of that will develop over the course of the next several months and years as it moves forward. And I can say through a strong partnership between the town and the city, I wouldn't be shocked if the city includes us from time to time on what our thoughts and opinions are on some of the developments. Certainly not as the only single stakeholder, but as a stakeholder in the region. And I told Jim that I thought that would be appropriate for us to be able to share some thoughts and opinions. But nonetheless, many people are excited and look forward to seeing what that does for downtown. The Oxbow Bridge. This is not the first time that this topic has come up, at least in the community. The bridge itself is property of Clinton County. The town has taken a number of steps throughout the years to persuade individuals from not, going on the bridge, et cetera, of those activities. I've had a number of conversations with the Katyville Fire Department, and their overall emphasis is that things be done to make that area safer, not only for individuals that have, quote, done bridge jumping or jump from the cliffs, but fishers. So Lyle from Katyville Fire Department has been reaching out to a number of people, and I anticipate that we might have a conversation with Clinton County Emergency Management Services and a number of stakeholders. I don't see the county removing the bridge anytime soon, as it's very costly. Again, it's their property. I'm not sure what they.
Is there any possibility that might be used for a Saranac River Trail in the future?
Might be used for what, Tom?
Saranac River Trail extensions?
Well, there is a proposal that the Saranac River Trail might go up that road, and that it would cross the Saranac River at that point, and that there would be a facility built there. I mean, potentially, that's something that, we'd look at it.
Yeah, we don't want to encourage them to take it down then. No.
I think.
Some people believe that the structure is not in a good enough position to stay though, that it wouldn't necessarily be worthwhile keeping that bridge.
We
But other
actually-
people have felt that, that some I think the jury's still out on it.
We actually had the Green Bridge in Saranac measured to see if that bridge could be utilized to replace the bridge at the Oxbow. And it's just literally a matter of probably 10 feet short of being able to span that. Otherwise, it might have been something that would work. Not that it would necessitate somebody declaring to open that road to vehicular traffic, but it could have, provided a much safer facility.
I mean, there's a number of thoughts, Tom. You know, one of them being if there was more traffic, even foot traffic, that maybe the behavior down there would be curbed a little bit. You know, if it had a little bit more easy access for fishers, you know, maybe that would be helpful. So there's a number of things. A conversation needs to occur, and as I told Lyle, we don't own the bridge. It is not the town's responsibility by ourselves, so that we need to get a number of people at the table to have some conversations. So more to come on that. But just in case people do approach you, and I think ultimately the message that some folks have really been stressing is it's not a matter of how many people have passed over the course of time. It's one is too many, you know, and what can be done to make that space safer, and or educate people about the possible, you know, dangers down in that area. So
Whenever you're dealing with the river or anything else, it can be dangerous, depending on time of year and everything else. I mean, we can't always go by that, especially if we want to expand our recreation and trails and things like that.
The education, I think, is the key.
Just jumping down, Sharon's last day will be this week, so please make sure to come in the office. I anticipate she may be taking Friday off, actually, so try to stop in and give her well wishes as she enters her retirement phase. So the other quick tidbit, I'll direct all of you to pick up the newspaper or watch the news. Norsk has officially announced that they will be coming to the Plattsburgh region. We still anticipate that it will be moving out to the old county airport. We don't know exactly what location on the county airport, but we anticipate that it will bring about 400 to 500 good paying jobs when it's in full operation. That's not gonna happen overnight, but it's in conjunction with a number of things. And I know a lot of folks locally are watching that with great excitement, and I certainly join them, and we'll see what the finer details look like as the course of time moves forward. So couple things, moving forward down to resolutions. There's some draft minutes for you for your consideration, monthly reports, the base sewer lining change order, and this really relates to what we've done in the past to try to take advantage of continued opportunities. Public hearing notice for CDBG 2011 closeout. We're in that process where we're actually working on the CDBG for 2015, even though it's 2016, but we're working on the closeout of 2011
What does that mean?
CDBGs, closing the grant out, like finalizing it, all the paperwork, etc. So we'll have a public hearing so people know what the status was of that, of that grant round. And then for consideration tonight, I would ask that we take up resolution 16-147, the Saranac Central School Bus Drivers Addendum.
Whereas transportation in a rural community will often prevent town youth from participating in recreational programs, and bus drivers are needed. Whereas the town of Plattsburgh is clarifying the rate service for Saranac Central School District drivers for the summer youth program commencing on first day of July 2016 and ending on the 30th day of June 2017. Therefore be resolved, the supervisor and recreational department is hereby authorized to execute a service at the agreed rate of $77.72 at a rate per trip as needed. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the finance manager, recreation director, Saranac School District, and Pool and Joint.
Is there a motion? Wood. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Minix. Any discussion? Seeing
I
none.
think you explained it already.
Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Mike LaFave, Barry Hebert,
No.
Mike Casper.
Yes. Carries. All right. I just want to alert you folks, and part of the reason I checked my phone a couple of times tonight, I think several of you know my grandmother got out of the hospital a little while ago for open heart surgery. Just got cleared, and today she fell off the back deck and was
Oh my
taken to the
goodness.
hospital. So today I've been a little bit more distracted, and apologize that, as family comes first, so just
Don't
a
know
heads
what
up.
happened, don't know the extent of her
she's-
injuries at this point.
Nope.
First condition?
Don't know. She
How old is
was,
she?
she's nearing her 80s, so, and, so I may
She's
be out,
young.
I may be out of the office, in the next couple of days, depending on what's going on, but hopefully she's, discharged and, in the care of my mother sooner or later.
Good luck with that, Michael.
No,
All right.
hope-
Yeah,
hoping
sorry to
for
hear
you,
that.
So we'll call it at 7:18, that's it.
Yeah, different.
Up here.
Can I see that vote?
Oh, okay,
Where
okay.
it will come back.
I want to
I
finish.
always try to keep it around, I don't know where I put it, you know?
Yeah, that's right, hold on. Oh, really? Okay.
I still don't know what a trip is.
Oh, we'll.
You're all set for Notre Dame?
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, I go pick up the kids and drop them
That'd be a
at
good game. Hope you
at
have
the
good
beach
weather.
and then go
Should
home,
be, yeah.
and then I
This
go and pick them
football.
up and